What if I told you that the first 5 minutes of your day are sabotaging your entire life and you don't even realize it? Waking up, grabbing your phone, complaining about being tired, or just running on autopilot, it's all far more dangerous than you think. And the worst part? Most people have no idea they're being controlled the second their eyes open. But there's an ancient method, forgotten by many, that can change everything, and it starts before you even leave your bed. Stoic philosophy, followed by emperors, warriors, and sages, teaches that you don't have to wait for miracles. You can create transformation starting in your mind, and it all begins with simple, powerful practices. In this video, you'll discover 10 morning habits used by Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca to shield the mind, wake up with clarity, and act with purpose throughout the day. These practices will teach you how to control your anger before it appears, how to stay calm under pressure, how to stop overreacting, and even how to cleanse negativity before it poisons your thoughts. They're not theories, they're real strategies you can use starting today, no matter your background. If you've ever woken up feeling tired, anxious, reactive, or like your life is being pulled in all directions, stay with me. Because these 10 Stoic practices will teach you how to master your mind the moment you wake up. And when you master the mind, everything else follows. Like this kind of content? Hit that like, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs to start their day with more power and less chaos. Now take a deep breath, because what comes next might just change your mornings and the direction of your life. Waking up doesn't need to feel like being launched into chaos. A Stoic begins the day by pausing. He takes a deep breath, senses his body, and observes his thoughts without reacting to them. This moment breaks the automatic cycle and returns control to the mind. Marcus Aurelius called it returning to reason before action. That may sound philosophical, but it's deeply practical. Breathing consciously first thing in the morning activates the brain's emotional control centers and inhibits reactive impulses. It's not a gift, it's training. Anyone can apply it starting tomorrow. This is how self-mastery begins, by noticing, not reacting. Mindful awareness is a form of mental discipline. When you watch your thoughts upon waking, you stop the flood of distractions from taking over. It's like building an inner fortress before opening the city gates. That's why ancient wisdom, especially Stoic philosophy, prioritized awareness as the first act of the day. Here's a simple way to apply it. Tomorrow morning, don't touch your phone. Just breathe and silently name each thought that comes to you. If you think about work, say mentally, "Thought about work." If you feel fear, just notice, "Fear." This reduces emotional reactivity and immediately activates your emotional intelligence. This practice reinforces self-discipline early in the day. It builds mental strength, teaches you how to stay calm under pressure, and keeps the ego in check. Over time, you'll notice more control over your emotions. That's the real power of perception, not reacting on autopilot. Mastering the start of your day is the first step to mastering yourself, and the next step is just as important, preparing your mind to accept what's outside of your control, with serenity, not resistance. Before even getting out of bed, the Stoic activates one of the most powerful virtues, acceptance. He doesn't wake up expecting a perfect day. Instead, he anticipates what could go wrong. Delays, rude people, unexpected events. And that's okay. Accepting this beforehand weakens their emotional impact. This mindset is the foundation of real emotional control. Epictetus was clear. Some things are up to us, others are not. This isn't pessimism, it's freedom. When you realize you can't control traffic, other people's behavior, or the weather, you stop wasting energy fighting the inevitable. Instead, you redirect your power toward what truly matters: your attitude, your thoughts, your calm. Acceptance isn't the same as resignation. It's preparation. It's meeting the unpredictable with a trained mind. Stoic philosophy teaches that suffering is born from resistance, resisting what is, what was, or what will be. But when you embrace life without illusion, you gain a rare kind of inner peace that most people never reach. Here's a practical tip. As you wake up, tell yourself, "Today I will face challenges, but I will not be ruled by them." That one thought reframes your entire approach to the day. It's a small internal phrase with a massive impact. Stoicism is interaction, and this mantra is a shield against early morning anxiety. This kind of mindset builds self-discipline and accelerates personal growth. Once you internalize this truth, you stop overreacting and start acting with emotional intelligence. It becomes easier to let go of mental resistance and navigate the day with resilience instead of friction. And if acceptance is the soil where serenity grows, then it's time to plant something essential. The question that redirects the day toward meaning, because when purpose is clear, even chaos becomes a path. Most people wake up and dive into the day without ever asking why, but the Stoic doesn't move on autopilot. Before taking any action, he remembers his purpose. He asks, why did I wake up today? What value do I want to embody? This small reflection reorients the mind and brings clarity in the middle of the noise. Seneca used to say, no wind favors a ship without a destination. Remembering your purpose isn't mystical, it's focus. A mind guided by real intent doesn't get lost in distractions. This boosts your sense of direction and prevents the day from being hijacked by other people's urgency. You leave behind chaos and move into intention. One practical way to do this is to write down a sentence in the morning that captures your purpose. Something like, today I'll act with courage even when it's hard. Or, my focus today is to cultivate inner peace. These sentences become emotional compasses. Every time you drift off course, they bring you back. This practice sharpens your mental discipline and activates your perception. When you remember your why, you become less reactive, less vulnerable to criticism, and more centered in your decisions. It's like staying calm in the middle of a battlefield. The environment is the same, but the warrior knows why he's there. Stoic philosophy reminds us that living well means living with meaning. Remembering your purpose each morning is like filling your tank with clarity before driving through life's highway. It reduces mental noise, fuels your self-discipline, and gives you the strength needed to face even the small irritations with serenity. And when the mind is aligned with purpose, it naturally prepares for resistance ahead, because even meaningful days bring struggle, and the Stoic is ready for them long before they arrive. A Stoic doesn't begin the day hoping everything goes perfectly. He starts by preparing for what could go wrong. He practices premeditatio malorum, Latin for premeditation of evils. This isn't pessimism, it's clarity. By imagining the potential difficulties ahead, he removes their power to destabilize his emotions. Seneca taught that to suffer before its time is foolish, but not to prepare is unwise. Imagining that things might not go as planned, a tense meeting, traffic, an uncomfortable conversation, acts as emotional armor. When those moments arrive, they're not shocking, they're expected. And preparation kills surprise. You can do this the moment you wake up. Ask yourself, what might go wrong today? Then take a deep breath and say, even if it does, I won't be ruled by it. This short reflection lowers anxiety and boosts emotional control. It's an active resilience training built directly into your morning routine. This exercise won't stop problems from happening, but it will stop you from being knocked over by them. Less surprise means less emotional reaction. Visualizing difficulty isn't about attracting negativity, it's about building mental strength. Like a soldier who trains during peace, not because he wants war, but because he knows peace is fragile. It's also a way of building psychological immunity. A trained mind sees discomfort not as punishment, but as process. Marcus Aurelius would write each morning about what could go wrong and would steel himself to accept it with calm. This is self-discipline in its rawest form. This is ancient wisdom brought to life. And once you've seen the punch coming, you can raise your guard. But the real transformation happens when you remember that it's not the event that hurts, but your interpretation of it. And that's why the Stoic repeats a guiding principle every day. A Stoic doesn't step into the day without mental armor. He carries with him a phrase, a principle, a timeless truth. Something like, it's not what happens that disturbs me, but how I judge it. This simple repetition has the power to reshape perception. It's more than words, it's protection against emotional ambushes. The mind, when trained through repetition, becomes more resilient. Repeating a Stoic idea first thing in the morning puts the brain in a state of conscious readiness. Chaos might knock on the door, but the inner response is calm. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus knew this. Repeat the idea, and it shapes the belief. Belief shapes behavior. Choose one sentence and make it your ally. Write it on a sticky note, put it on your bathroom mirror, or make it your phone's lock screen. When your mind is tested by criticism, unexpected change, or disappointment, repeat the phrase silently. That's emotional control in motion. That's how Stoic philosophy becomes practice. This habit strengthens mental discipline, deflates the ego, and supports personal growth. Repetition reminds you of the person you want to be, especially when old patterns try to return. It's like taming your anger before it even arises, staying calm even when the world is shouting. Here's a real-life example. Someone provokes you early in the day. Instead of reacting, you think, "It's not their behavior that harms me. It's my choice to be offended." That mental pause changes everything. Stoic philosophy doesn't ask us to escape life. It teaches us to respond to life with wisdom, not reflex. And once the mind is sharpened with a Stoic principle, the next step is to protect its entry points, because what you allow in shapes what you become. Waking up and going straight to your phone is like leaving the door of your mind wide open for chaos to storm in. The Stoic does the opposite. He chooses what enters his mind. He understands that the first impulse of the day can set the emotional tone for hours. That's why he avoids the flood of information right after waking. It's not being picky, it's a strategic move for emotional control. Marcus Aurelius said, "You become what you give your mind to." And that's more relevant now than ever. Checking the news, opening social media, or answering messages first thing is like pouring gasoline on emotional fire. Your brain is still sensitive, and any input becomes a trigger. The result? Early frustration, anxiety, and scattered focus. A better alternative is to build a silence ritual. For the first 30 minutes of the day, avoid screens. Instead, read a short Stoic passage, pray, meditate, or journal. These practices help you stay calm under pressure and put you back in charge of your attention. That's real resilience training, daily, simple, and available to anyone. What you allow into your mind is just as important as what you put into your body. You wouldn't eat trash for breakfast, so why feed your brain mental garbage? This awareness activates perception, strengthens discipline, and keeps negativity from dominating your emotional state before the day even begins. Reactive people are always tired. Stoicism teaches that inner peace doesn't come from a problem-free life, but from not being pulled by every little thing. Ignoring your phone in the morning may seem small, but it's a powerful statement. Today I decide what enters my mind. That's mental mastery, emotional intelligence, and strength. And when your mind is protected from useless noise, it creates room for bold action. And that's exactly what comes next. Facing something difficult before comfort wins the first round. Your first victory of the day shapes how you handle every challenge after that. That's why the Stoic begins with something uncomfortable. It might be a cold shower, a workout, writing in silence, or facing a tough conversation he's been avoiding. Whatever it is, he does it to send a message to his mind. I'm not here to escape. I'm here to grow. Seneca taught that virtue strengthens through effort. Doing something hard in the morning builds self-discipline, strengthens mental toughness, and humbles the ego that craves ease. Stoicism is a philosophy of action. There's no point in thinking like a sage if you act like someone who avoids discomfort. Voluntary discomfort is the true training ground of the soul. Want a simple, powerful example? Take a cold shower for 3 minutes. Your body will want to flee, your mind will scream. But by staying, you train the muscle of resilience. Later, when stress hits, your nervous system will already be prepared. You won't panic, you'll breathe. That's what emotional control looks like in practice. This choice also breaks the easy start, hard day cycle. When you conquer a challenge early, the rest of the day feels lighter. It's like climbing the biggest hill first. This sense of personal power fuels your development, activates your Stoic mindset, and proves to you that you can act even when your mind says don't. Whoever defeats fear first thing in the morning defeats the fear of the day. This mental strength spills into every area. how you deal with insults, pressure, difficult decisions. You train resilience not just by reading about it, but by feeling it. That quiet discipline becomes the foundation for unshakable peace. And once you've conquered that first internal battle of the day, the Stoic smiles inwardly, because he knows life is fragile, and waking up victorious is a reminder, I'm still here. And in that moment, he remembers the greatest truth of all. Life itself is a gift. Waking up is a privilege many didn't get today. The Stoic knows this. He doesn't start the day cursing the alarm clock. He begins with silent reverence. I'm still here. That deep awareness breaks the illusion of routine and activates a gratitude that doesn't depend on external conditions. Life, in itself, is already a victory. And that perception changes everything. Marcus Aurelius wrote daily, I woke up. My body responds. My mind is clear. I can act as a human being. It may seem simple, but this kind of reminder creates a purposeful urgency. Time is sacred, and every Stoic holds that truth close. Knowing that any morning could be the last kills spiritual laziness and brings you back to what matters. Here's a powerful habit. As soon as you wake up, tell yourself, today might be my last chance to live with honor. That thought alone turns an ordinary day into something sacred. You don't postpone the hard conversations. You don't delay brave actions. You don't ignore the moments to serve. That's mind mastery in action. Awareness of life's fragility reconnects you to ancient wisdom. Everything passes, including you. And because of that, everything matters. When your mind accepts this truth, it stops wasting time with ego, drama, and pointless comparisons. It invests in what builds, what liberates, what lasts beyond today. Want a simple gesture? Look at the sky when you wake up. Breathe in and say thank you. If it's raining, be grateful for the water. If it's sunny, be grateful for the light. That's not romanticism, it's emotional intelligence. Whoever learns to recognize the miracle in the ordinary develops a strength that chaos can't break. And in recognizing the gift of being alive, the Stoic sees that all the other practices, from breathing to purpose, from acceptance to discipline, aren't separate tools. They're parts of a unified way of living that turns inner chaos into crystal clarity. Now tell me, after learning these 10 Stoic practices, will you keep waking up on autopilot, or will you start designing your mornings with intention and mental control? The truth is, how you begin your day shapes everything. Your decisions, your reactions, your level of inner peace, and even how you deal with adversity. Stoicism isn't just ancient philosophy. It's a code of mental strength you can apply every single day. How many days of your life have been wasted by overreacting, being easily irritated, or feeling lost the moment you woke up? Enough. From now on, you have a map in your hands to build self-discipline, cultivate emotional intelligence, and strengthen your mind before your feet even touch the ground. The choice is yours. Continue as before, or apply what you've just learned. If you've made it this far, it's because something inside you wants more. More clarity, more power, more peace. And if even one of these practices struck a chord with you, leave a comment below. I choose to master my mind the moment I wake up. Let's create a wave of transformation. Every comment is proof that there are still people committed to self-growth. And tell me, which of these practices hit you the hardest? Which one will you start doing tomorrow morning? I want to know. Your insight might inspire someone else. Let's connect in the comments and grow together. Just remember, change doesn't start out there. It begins inside, in the quiet of your mind, with a firm decision. If this video helped you, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share it with someone who needs to wake up with clarity, purpose, and mental mastery. The revolution starts with your awakening, and the next move is yours.